to master, for the mastery of their, their learnings. Another one is students' attendance is very important here in Thailand in order to graduate. So the students need to have 3,600 hours learning time in 3 years. Okay, and students are expected to earn 75 credits for graduation. So students attain like 15 credits for the compulsory, 15 credits for the elective, and the rest will be like the other subjects
goes this way.
with the optional subjects as well.
Education is
The next slide is the infographics of timeline for Matayong 4 to civics. So this will help you understand why it's like this, or the system, with the Thai education now. In Matayong 4 to 5, they will have a regular timetable. So they will have the regular timetable just normal. So you will understand later why I say regular timetable. And they will start to have a career blueprint. So when you say career blueprint, their guidance counselor, like they have really time for like a schedule for guidance counselor. They even have one-on-one with the guidance counselor for them to talk and plan and assess, the strand that they pick. If it is really aligned to them, are they working it well, or they want to change it. So that's the time that they can change or reroute their career path. And then in Matayong 6, which is grade 12 in the Philippines, for the first semester, they are going to have regular class timetable. So the student, during that time as well, the student will start creating portfolio for university application. So they will go and look into a certain university, and they are going to.
It is continuous.
They are going to what do you call that one? They are going to look at university, and they are going to find what are the requirements that they need to prepare. And in the second semester, right? So Matayong 6, which is grade 12, okay? The students will prepare their university application. And some of the students will have entrance exam. Some of the students will submit the portfolio, and some of them will have interviews. So you will be asking what happened to their class. Okay, so the first semester, that's what I said, first semester they have the regular class. On the second semester, they still take subjects, but then if they want to be absent because they have to go to university for application or interviews, they just send a note and attach the letter from the university that they are going there. And that will be counted for their attendance. That's why I said in the previous slide that their attendance here is very important. Then during this time, students, they have the day off, and if they don't notify the teachers, then obviously they will be absent. But I think the students here are very, very good in terms of that, because they know what they really need. So by the time they are going to graduate, next, the students will be able to identify which university they are going to go. Like they already went to a certain faculty, they have interviews, they have like entrance exam. Everything is ready for them before they graduate. So in here, like January is the first round for university application. So you can submit your university, your portfolio, and then they will reply to you in 1.5 to 2 months if you really qualify for the certain faculty that you want to go to. And the second round is going to be around March. Okay, and then on the next slide is a sample of grade 9 to 12. So as you can see in their timetable, there are more vacant classes for them. So they remember before they have optional, so they can choose it as a non if they already like comply all the subjects that they need. for the
teach
university.
English to
So
students.
they can use
And
that
as
time
part
as
of
like a
that,
free time for
most
them
of the students
to do the preparations
subject specialization
and to
in
talk to
English.
their guidance counselor as
However,
well.
some of the
And the guidance counselor,
listening and speaking
the slide is not really like
So in
that
other
clear.
words,
They have a guidance time,
additional
guidance, what do you
years,
call that one? The guidance
2 years,
block. And then
those
sometimes the guidance counselor will bring the students to
social science.
an open house, a school open house, where they can ask or
so during
inquire
Saturdays
into
and
the school
Sundays,
as well.
I was assigned to teach.
Right.
Unless it is students, because I finished my
Next slide,
in the
Shines.
Philippines,
So here's like
so I found out that most of
we're
the
going to do
students
some
specialize
sharing
in
of
English and the
experiences
days in senior high
from
schools
us here in
are
Thailand,
really
and
good
also I
in
have
listening
like
and speaking English.
I have a
So in
student
other
who's
words,
going to share her
K-12
experience
curriculum
as a grade
is a
12
good
students
thing
applying to
Philippine
university.
education
So
system
let's hear from
because
Ms. Zoe
this
Morrison.
will help enhance, improve the ability to
ดิฉัน
comprehend.
ชื่อนางสาวโซลี่มอริสันนะคะขณะนี้กำลังอยู่เทอมสุดท้ายของเดือน12ค่ะเพิ่งสอบติดวิทยาลัยนานาชาติมหาวิทยาลัยมหิดลค่ะ Hi everyone, my name is Zoe Morrison. I'm currently studying my final semester of grade 12 and I recently got accepted into Mahidol University International College. So in Thailand there is 5 different rounds for university admission and we go through a system called T-Class. But most universities accept a lot of us grade 12 students in the first round, which is the portfolio round. So in this portfolio, it consists of my background information, my school, GPA, and where I've been at school since kindergarten, and consists of the activities I've done in school and my certificates that I've received. And in this portfolio, it consists of everything I've done from grade 10 to grade 12, as well as our transcripts that we need to send to our university, like with our application as well. We need to do it from the first term in grade 10 to the first term in grade 12, and that consists of what we need to give for these 2 things. We also, for my university, I also needed to take IELTS, and the process was I started making this portfolio in August last year, 2020, and I applied for university in January 2021. And then I waited for around a month and a half and did my interview in the beginning of March, and I got accepted into university in the end of March. So that's my experience with applying to university. Hope you enjoyed my short video. Bye! สวัสดีค่ะดิฉันชื่อนางสาว
All right. So as you can see, the portfolio is very important, and the school or university here will really check since kindergarten. So the attendance that you have in school, so it is really, really important for them in applying to university. And this university that she applied is one of the prestigious university here in Thailand. And some students here in Thailand, they aim to go to that university. That's why you want to submit as early as possible. Because imagine, a lot of schools here in Thailand will submit, and they are going to, you're going to be a lot of students who wants to be in that university. So why this example of this university, why they want to go to their university? That's what Macy said, they don't need to go abroad. But for this particular school, they want to be in this university because during their junior years or senior years, they are going to be sent abroad to study. And there they are going to have a connection in the other in outside university. If you're going to be in engineering, they will send you to Germany as your OGT, right? So they go and study abroad. One thing that's the good character with Thailand, with Thai people, they are Thai rock Thai. When we say Thai rock Thai, it's Thai rock is love Thai. Thai love Thai. They go study abroad, but after they study abroad, they will come back to Thailand and have their job here. So the advantage for them studying abroad is the pay. They will get more pay than the regular graduates in here. So that's why a lot now, it's a trend now here in Thailand to go into a prestigious university, or those universities that offer, they have like tied up from the outside country abroad, because it is more beneficial for them when they go back to their country. And like us, Thailand, we are teaching here, like me, teaching here for 21 years. When I go back to the Philippines, I don't know what's like for me in the Philippines on my age. So it's a lot of things to maybe there's a big opportunity for me when I go back and teach at PSU. Maybe. It's approved by you, sir? All right. Okay. Now, I want to call our classmates here who also have their experience, because in every school we have our own way of our approach with the 2008 basic curriculum that they place here in Thailand. So may I call on our classmate Joy Di Guzman to share her experience. So she worked in a vocational school, I think, a private school. So let's hear from her end. Joy?
Good morning, classmates. Okay, so yeah, Miss Freche is correct. So I used to work before in vocational school. So in vocational school, after Matayong 3 or the lower secondary, students can choose to go to vocational school where they will be trained. In the school that I worked before, it was a business school. So most of their courses are concentrated on accounting, marketing, business computer, or many courses that are specializing in business. So I can say, based on my observation and experience before, they really train students to be equipped with the skills related to business and information and technology. So they offer in Thai language or in English language. So those who wants to study using English language purely, so they will go to English program, while those who are not maybe confident or they don't want to use English language for the whole duration of the course, they will opt to enroll in Thai program, but the skills, the trainings will be similar. And what I know is that in Thai program before, it was free from the government, but the English program, part of the tuition fee will be from the government and part will be from their own pocket. So I can say that the students are really trained. Like when I talked to one of my students, when she saw me posting like products that I'm selling, she was the one who is now advising me to do like this, will make her own branding teacher, blah, blah, blah. But I'm not really good in business, just pretending or just trying. So she's advising me a lot of things, what to do, maybe because she was really trained for that. And then one of my student also, he is now a project manager in creating, in building BTS, the train station. So I can say that they are really equipped with the skills that they want to pursue the career that they really want in the future. Yeah, so that's what I can share.
Thank you, Joy. It's really nice to hear from a first-hand experience now. But I also want to call Davis for his experience, and most of Davis' experiences are in international perspective as well. Davis, you may have the floor.
Hello, everybody. Can you guys hear me? Let me know if you guys can hear me or not. Okay, so as a matter of fact, I have taught in the government school here in Thailand for 10.5 years, and but also have experience in private schools and international schools. Um, so I just want to confirm that here in Thailand they do have that option, half third year high school, which is half grade 9, They do have the option to, choose an elective, choose a specialization, choose to concentrate on language, on math, on sciences, and other areas. And again, that is from within the school. But if they go outside and concentrate on, developing their career, they can actually go on a path where they study at the vocational school, just like what Archie has mentioned already. And there's a lot of opportunities here for even the government students to go abroad, because they do have immersion programs where they actually study abroad for a year or sometimes 2 years, and those are some of the opportunities that they have. Although they have opportunities here, they do have a lot of opportunities here in Thailand. Education, especially in the government school, is very cheap. Sometimes it's mostly even free. They get like a lot of benefits, because some students have free food, free milk, and all of that. But because Thailand is in the government school, it's interesting because although they are offering free tuition for their kids, it could also be opposite for some students, because if they want to get quality education, there is what they call the English program, which was mentioned also already by Frenchie. English program is quite expensive, or I should say that it's too kind of like on both ends, right? Like you have the cheap system, which is the government school, which is mostly free or free, and then there's the the education system, which is offered by either the English program, which is part of the government school, but an added value, but also you have to pay. And then the private schools and other education centers. So you can either get the free, which is all in Thai, or you can pay for a very expensive education, which is either English program, mini English program, or go to a private school, or go to the the universities, which could really cost you a lot of money. This program here in Thailand can cost up to 35 to 45,000 per semester in baht, and that is about like 70,000 to 80,000 Philippine peso, which is again quite expensive for a government school to offer. But then of course you've got those options, specializations, where you wanna go. You have a lot of choice. There's a lot of electives. There's a lot of opportunities for you to specialize on something. In the private sectors and the international schools, it's also the same thing. The electives, once you pass grade 9, there's a lot of options for you, or opportunities for you to experience, things like design, thinking, project building, entrepreneurship, really to give you the skill, so that even when you graduate high school, you are able to become your own boss, you're able to become your own designer, you're able to become equipped, even without going through college or into the university. Unfortunately, here in Thailand, those who graduate grade 12, or not necessarily unfortunately, but some students who are just thinking about Thailand and not necessarily thinking about outside of Thailand or abroad, they choose to just go and study even more. I know a lot of students who, even when they graduate university, they would continue to take on masters just right after they do their bachelor's degree, which is an add 2, 3, even 4 years more into their education, because they want to feel even more, they want to be even more competitive among other graduates out there. And again, it's not cheap here in Thailand. Education is not cheap here. Their graduate courses, or their graduate degree, which is like a master's, can cost upwards of 300,000 baht, which is like 600,000 pesos. So I think that's for me, like just a little bit of a sharing based on my experience. Thank you.
Thank you, Davis. As you can hear that when Davis was saying, no, parents here in Thailand, they are really very supportive in education. And here's one of my experience here. There's a certain family that the parents or the mother is still like pregnant. The baby hasn't born yet, but they are going to inquire school, and they put their their child as like on the list so that it will be accepted. They're kind of like, oh really? It's kind of like absurd. Like, why are they doing this? So parang weird, diba? Na ano, but then that's how they face, like parents here. That's how they are really value education. So they really spend for education. I am going to call our classmate, our PRO, Macy, to share her experience because she also worked in a vocational school before. Right, Macy? Macy, you're muted.
So the other question is, in Thailand setting, the disadvantages of low learners or late bloomers. Well, Freche already discussed the general, and Joy and Teacher Davis talked about the vocationals. Actually, vocationals are sometimes for ano tawag dyan? Sorry, nag-video ako. Poor and the fourth students and late bloomers. So it's like meron din silang for left behind.
So my
And yes,
Good
they have
everyone.
the curriculum
This is
for
friend.
left
Hello.
behind student. Ito yung mga estudyante
So
na
that's the same. It goes this way.
si
Education.
na parang akala natin yung
Is
sa ama lang, yung mga ama college, pero talagang binibigyan nila ng
Listen to
priorities.
that.
They could take tourism, accountancy, secretariat, like yung mag-mechanic, and other easy jobs for them. Kasi nga, hindi sila sometimes nakapasa, and the parents cannot afford. Meron din programa ang Thailand dyan. But not actually, sinabi nila na, ano lang yan, vocational lang yan. No, when you say vocational, maganda talaga ang equipments nila kumpleto sa gamit. It's not like napabayaan or nag-rent lang. No, when you say vocational colleges in Thailand, 3-year course, and the government really spend a lot of money for them. So we cannot compare the vocational courses in the Philippines and vocational courses in Thailand. Talagang meron nga silang other programs dyan na Freche would also discuss yung anong plano ng government sa vocational students. I don't have any information regarding that matter, but Freche could discuss kung ano yung ginagawa ng government sa kanila. Yan lang. Thank you so much. Back to you, Freche.
Right. Thank you, Macy. No. So in addition to Macy, I interviewed one student, and he is like in Thai school, like those less fortunate family. I asked him to take a video, but he declined to do that. But anyways, according to his experience, so when he went to the vocational school, which is like grade 10, when they enrolled, they're still having the general subjects, but the school itself will tied up with, like, because this student wants to do accountancy in the future or to work in the bank, but then he doesn't have any, like, the financial needs is not enough for them, so financially. So what the school did is they tied up with the bank. So those students who pick that strand, or those students who like wants to go to accountancy, they are going to be sent to the bank. Like that bank, they are going to do on-the-job training in there. So they are going to work there for 4 hours every day. So that serves as their attendance as well. And then once they are like they're working in there, first they are going to do the clerical work, like they pile, they are going to be yung utos-utusan lang, ganon. But then after a while, they are going to they're going to assess the students' behavior or the students' capacity. So if they're going to like pass the assessment, then they are going to what do you call that? They are going to move up to the next level. So he was assigned to answer the telephone. So anything that's like on the phone, he's going to answer it and then give it to the manager later on if they need the manager. So that's the thing that they are in the next stage. And then after that, they are going to evaluate the performance again. So the next year, he was like assigned to be outside the bank, outside the office area, those boxes there that you pile all the documents and everything. So he was outside, like in the front. So because here in the bank here, they have like, oh, ma'am, here's your queue number, what's your queue number? So they are going to assist those customers. They're going to give water, so whatever those customers need, they are going to accommodate them. So they are like giving them an opportunity to face and interact with other, in public. And the good thing for them is they are given allowances, like they have salary, but they call it allowances, and it is required from the government. So the government states that at least 40 baht per hour for the student. So parang they can use it as their food allowance, as their travel expense allowance. So they have that. So the parents, those less fortunate students, they have money to go and work for the job, to be trained. And if you are going to be lucky and if you're good enough, and the agency will see an opportunity or see your, magaling ka, they are going to offer you a scholarship. And there, you can move on to university. So that's the good thing. That's one of the requirements as well from the government here, that they are going to sponsor students. The potential students, they need to sponsor students as they're giving back to the society. So for them, which is very good, because if the students won't qualify, they will still have a job later on because they already like trained to do it. So ang ganda, no, sana ganun sa atin din. So it's the bank who's going to give them allowance. Yeah, all right, thank you so much. One more thing. Mr. Ranolfo, do you want to share or do you want to add something? I know you taught in the Thai school for a longest time.
Hello, good afternoon, everyone. There's a saying goes this way. I just do a like sign if my voice is clear. Is it okay? Yeah, it's okay, right? Okay. So there's a saying goes this way, that education is a lifelong process of learning. It's global, it's continuous, and of course, it's a fruit of life. So my name is Ranolfo Milianis. I come from Tagbilaran City, Bohol, Philippines. I had an experience about teaching job in elementary grades. I was once a teacher 1, teacher 2, teacher 3, master teacher 1, master teacher 2. And last 2005, my friends invited me to apply for teaching job at Drum Kamahing Taburi project. And luckily I was accepted and assigned at Son Kulab Taburi School for about 4 years. At my first year of teaching, it's really hard for me because my experience was just only a grade 6 teacher in the Philippines. And it takes a long time to adjust, handling 65 students in the class, 15 sections, oh my goodness. So it's very hard for me to adjust. And then I taught also grade 9 for about 5 sections, grade 11 for about 5 sections too, a total of about 22 hours in a week. So it's really hard to adjust, especially if you teach in the last sections where football players are really very, very hard to adjust discipline is very hard. So during my days of teaching at Toronto Lab Nontaburi for about 4 years, I experienced a lot, and I found out that most of the students at Matayom 3, later on Matayom 4, there are only few students enrollees because most of them probably transferred to other school because they are specializing likes or area of subject area of specialization. So only few left, about half of the students enrolled Matayom 4 or grade 10. But it's really interesting because some of the students are really good in English because this school is very prominent, very popular in Ontabury, and even in Thailand it's #1 high school, public high school in Thailand. So during Saturdays and Sundays, I was assigned to teach Ramkhamhaeng University first year students. I found out most of the students specializing English during their high school, senior high school, were really good, really versed in listening and speaking English. So I could say that K-12 curriculum in Thailand is really good because this program is really important for them, especially if they're specializing courses and in preparation for university students. So I could say that Philippine had the right thing to do to implement K-12 curriculum because Thailand now is really growing fast, and right now they're planning to set up their 2030 educational curriculum. It's really, and they're applying for grade 4 quality of learning. So it's very interesting here in Thailand, but there's in mind that possibly I'll be back to Philippines because I miss my my hometown. Okay, so that's all my experience. Take it away, Sheila, please. Oh, Shena.
It's me, sir. Right. Thank you, sir Anolfo. But anyway, you're right. See, my sharing for my part. So Sheena.
Yes, thank you, Ms. Frenchie, for that. That a program is working well or effectively working is through testimonials and the result that this program is getting and this program is producing. So we have discussed with the educational system of Thailand, but for the students, the product of this K-12 curriculum. And did we in the Philippines do right? Yes, as our captain said, we did. But in comparison to other countries who had implemented it for a long time already, Philippines right now, if we will level it in K-12, we are still in the primary level of implementing the K-12 curriculum. Whereas other countries are innovating to better products or better students or better citizens, better employees, better employer, if we say, with this K-12 curriculum. So to wrap up this discussion with a conclusion and recommendation, may I call on our captain, Mr. Ranulfo Milianes. Let me introduce him to you again. He was formerly a master teacher too and officiating official at the International Accredited Athletics Federation in the Philippines too. An English teacher in Suang Collab in American School of Bangkok and Chulalongkorn University in Untitled project. And presently he is a bilingual teacher. So take it away, Mr. Ranulfo.
Hello, good morning again. Okay. So, would you please, is it clear? Yeah, okay. So, in view of the foregoing statement, reason, programs, benefits, advantages, interviews, and feedbacks, reactions, and all the studies, researcher. So, according to the Southeast Asian
Yes, sir.
Minister of Education Organization, ENOTEC 2010, the researcher had found out the following conclusions. Parents need full implementation of K-12 in the Philippines and as it did in Thailand. K-12 curriculum improves learning competencies and produces quality graduates. Number 3, K-12 graduates can compete other countries in terms of labor force. Slide please for number 4. Number 4, it helps the graduates to prepare themselves for study in universities. And number 5, it improves K-12 graduates' capabilities to land a local job and globally and improve economically in their way of living. So lastly, for the recommendation, so some of the parents, teachers, and other key officials in educational system in Southeast Asian recommended that in view of the foregoing conclusion, the following recommendations are basically suggested. Number 1, full implementation of K-12 in the Philippines as it did in Thailand to improve the academic performance of the students. Number 2, Philippines should adopt K-12 curriculum to meet the demands of educational standard of labor force globally. And number 3, K-12 curriculum should be supported by parents morally and financially. And number 4, DepEd should evaluate the graduates of this K-12 annually and reinforce immediately if there are weaknesses in the course of curriculum. And number 5, DepEd should conduct a regular survey of the effectiveness of the program from 2016 upwards for a sustainable development in our educational system in the Philippines and in Thailand. So thank you so much for the time. Shena, it's your turn now. Take it away.
Think in the issues of whether or not the Philippines did the great job or the right thing to adopt the K-12. And now we are going to open the floor for the question and answer. Open forum. If you have any questions, we will entertain it right now. I will be reading questions from the chat box from our classmates here. And anyone who wants to answer from the presenters, please, you may do so. Okay? So this question is from Mr. Davis Abbas. This is in line with quality over quantity. What quality programs, subjects, experiences in the Philippine K-12 curriculum that we are providing that we did not provide before in our old curriculum, especially in the secondary level? Can you please cite some specific examples?
Yes.
Yes,
In the old curriculum,
Miss Sonia, go ahead.
The subjects, the curriculum is congested. That's why, since the curriculum is decongested, they lack practical application. As I've said, curriculum before is congested. So the students lack the mastery of the competencies and skills. Unlike in the K-12 curriculum, the curriculum is decongested. Thus, the students have the mastery of the competencies and skills. In the old curriculum, they lack the application. They are more on theories. But in the K-12 curriculum, we have practical applications. You can see that in the grading system of the K-12 curriculum, wherein wherein students are graded in their performances. Okay, especially in their TBE subjects, they have this performance assessment, wherein if they learn a certain topic, they have to provide an output based on that topic. For example, in garments, for example, their topics about ano ba to? Yung measuring, about measuring or making a pajamas or dress. At the end of the topic, they have to perform that that skill. They have an output to their teacher. So in the new curriculum, there is practical application of the theories that they learn from the from the from the topic or from that subject. Another is in other subjects, they have also performances. For example, in their English subjects, about mobility or public speaking, we have to perform also. Kaya nga, in K-12 curriculum, we have this practical application that we are using in the K-12 curriculum is constructivism and spiral progression. So the students have the mastery. They can master the competencies and the skills because of this practical application of the theories that we have learned in a particular subject. Another is in the old curriculum, they don't have this immersion. Unlike in the K-12 curriculum, they have this immersion. I don't know how many months or weeks, but a senior student will go to a certain industry to apply what he or she has learned in her high school or in her high school. For example, his specialization is animal production. We will go to the farm, a certain farm, or poultry into the animal production. So to wrap up what I have said, in the old curriculum, congested, the curriculum is congested, so they don't have the mastery of the skills and competencies. In the K-12 curriculum, the curriculum is decongested, so the students have the mastery of the practical application. In the K-12 application, they have this practical application. It is shown in their performance assessment and in the immersion. That's all.
Thank you.
Yes.
Miss Evelyn, go ahead.
Yes, I would like to add something more to what Ma'am Sonia had said. So, with the implementation of the K-12 curriculum, there is an acquisition of additional knowledge in the sense that there are subjects which are supposed to be taught in college. With the general education curriculum, these are being cascaded into the senior high school. This includes Filipino, Philippine government and constitution, and of course, we also have literature. And aside from that, each track, which is subdivided into strands, the students have to take up subjects which are classified as either core subjects, specialized subjects, or applied subjects. When we say core subjects, these are the subjects which are to be taken by all the students who say applied subjects. These are the subjects which are to be taken by students who are suited to or interested in pathways beyond training or vocational training or work. When we say specialized subjects, these are those subjects that they have to take up which are in line with
to skills acquisition, the different tracks in the senior high school arts, but in our school, for example, we have academic and PPL track. Each track is subdivided into strands in which the students have to choose the particular strand where they think their skills or their capacities are suited. For example, in the PPL track, we have agri-fishery. For the home economics, we have cookery, which will later on progress to, in the old curriculum, without the senior high school, we only offer food LE. We call it in the old curriculum technology and livelihood education. But in the senior high school, we call it technical, vocational, and livelihood track. So in the new curriculum, they can choose cookery, between cookery and dressmaking. For cookery, they will food and veterinary services. For dressmaking, when they level up to grade 12, in the old curriculum, they only have garments, just like what Sonia mentioned. In ICT, first, they will be introduced to computer system servicing, and then they will progress to computer programming and animation. We also have industrial arts. In the old curriculum, they only have SMAU MC1, which is Shielded Metal Art Welding, National Certificate Level 1. But in the new curriculum, they can progress to SMAU or gas tungsten, something like that, GMAU, and then they also have gas tungsten art welding, GTAW. So as you can see, those skills, when acquired, will enable the senior high school graduates to look for a job at once if they had acquired the necessary competencies and skills. For example, Ma'am Sonia mentioned regarding immersion. As per experience, our students who had undergone immersion in farms, because in our place, we consider the availability of industries in offering a particular track or strand. In our locality, for example, we have different industries here. We have poultry farms, we have piggery, we also have agricultural farms, and then we also have these shops wherein our students who took up welding can have their employment. We have internet shops. We have many dressmaking shops. We also have restaurants. We have lots of places where the senior high school learners, upon graduation, can look for a job so they can have their family. So without the K-12 curriculum in which they can acquire these additional skills and knowledge, there will be a little chance that they can have employment right after high school if they do not have the capability to pursue their college education. So I hope that answers the question of Sir Davis. In our old curriculum, the subjects were focused mainly on more on theoretical, just like what Ma'am Sonia said. There are times that they had their practicum in garments, for example, measuring fabric, creating design, but these are reinforced with the introduction of other subjects or subjects in the higher level than those offered in the old curriculum. For the new curriculum, in the K-12, it is more on application, reinforcement, what has been learned in the junior high school,
with the aim for employment at once if they are not able to if they will not be able to continue their college education, or for being an early entrepreneur right after graduation if they have acquired the necessary skills, for example, bread making, bread and pastry. For those who have uh, taken up FBS or foods and beverage services, they can apply in restaurants here, those that offer catering services. For those who have taken up, let's say, animation, computer system servicing, computer programming, we have lots of computer. For industrial arts, of course, we have welding. These are the courses or strands that are being offered in the new curriculum, which will really help our learners situation and not just rely or depend on their parents. They can no longer let them pursue their college. So that's it.
Thank you, Ma'am Evelyn. Yes, Miss Brandy.
No, I just want to, my opinion, no, I just want to share. Looking on the K-12 student, I can really see my own opinion. I can really see that, we Filipinos are very competitive. And I can see that in the near future, we are going to excel. We even excel without the K-12. What about with the K-12, right? But Mom Evelyn and Mom Sonia, and to all the teachers and the classmates in the Philippines, um, maybe I don't know if a suggestion that you can build up in your school. Kasi dito sa Thailand, those students are there, like, they are doing some stuff that what people are going to buy. So that's what the government also in some district area, that they, like, outside the mall, they can have a small stalls, even just like, a table in there where they can sell their products. And that's part of the sa grading nila. Siguro, I don't know if that way we can do that with our students. Para naman, di ba, kasi if you can say, oh, I gained some, it's a training for them. I don't know if that is part of the plan in our in different schools, because we have, like, different way of implementing it.
Frenchie, actually here in our school, since it is a technical vocational school that also offers trans, just like in ABM, STEM, and HUMS, we are doing that already actually. They call that as their practicum or hands-on, in which they set booths, and then the students, the entire population, for example, in the senior high school population, there are more than 1,000. They are they are the regarding how they serve or manufacture or develop. And then actually there we have these enterprising students who really had it even off campus by doing selling online. They are very fond of Facebook also here. So PM me, kasi yung mga ganun, how much? And then PM me, yung mga ganun ba na drama nila. Okay, so they're actually applying what they have learned in their subjects. They call that capstone, parang ganon yung tawag nila, in which they have to apply the theories that they have learned. And then of course, that will be considered in their grading system. And in their immersion, may I add also that there were instances in which those in charge of the farms where our students were deployed for immersion, they actually employ the best of our students
who they discovered during the immersion. Of course, the immersion program is a good way of, let's say, scouting marks, because they can see that they are good in the application of theories, for example. So that's according to, based on our experience and observation. We have implemented the senior high school year as early as 2016. It's the first school year that we implemented the K-12 curriculum in the high school.
Concerns, I guess, Mr.